These daughters say their mother never takes accountability, and after watching this conversation, I can see why they feel that way. Every time they're asked to explain their hurt, they tell a story. Every time their mother is asked to explain her role, she tells an excuse. And by the end of this episode, Dr. Phil makes a powerful observation. You can't expect someone to give you something they simply don't have. Let's get into it.
It's all about me. Now, demanding to always get your way and being absolutely selfish with no regard for anyone else's feelings. That's exactly how my first guests, Tiffany and Mindy, describe their own mother, Phyllis, actually calling her, and I quote, the most selfish person on the face of the earth. And says their entire childhood was spent dealing with her self-absorbed behavior, ultimately fracturing their relationship. Take a look.
My mom has been selfish ever since I was a child.
My mother is a manipulator.
She's materialistic. She's unapologetic.
I was very young. I'm 8. And I remember her throwing temper tantrums and saying that she was going to kill herself. And I remember kneeling down to her and saying, I love you, don't die.
My mom was a bitch to me. My 16th birthday, she drops me off at my high school on the way to town, and as she's dropping me off, she says, and oh, by the way, I'm suing for divorce today. Can you just wait one more day, or did you even have to tell me? It was almost as if she had to hurt me.
My mother was in the photos, my prom pictures, homecoming, but she never played a part of it. She only had time to show up to take the picture.
I was a homecoming attendant my junior year. She got mad at me, took away my outfit, and she took all of the outfits in her closets and went out into the car and put it in the trunk and locked it to make sure I couldn't get another one.
My mother was very greedy during the divorce. She took everything in the house.
She picked the day before my graduation to come with a police officer. She took my middle sister's bed.
My mother even took the bedspread off my bed.
At that point, I pretty much hated her. I hated her guts, to be completely honest. And it was supposed to be my special day. This is my accomplishment. And my mom did that to me.
My mother believes she is an excellent mother. It's ridiculous.
Well, Phyllis insists that she was not just a good mother, but a great mother, and her daughters just have it all wrong.
My daughters are seeing it from one side. I feel like they've been brainwashed over the years. After the divorce, we got joint custody, but my daughters wanted to live with their dad. It was devastating. I was completely cut off. It took a year and a half for me to get very few items that I was supposed to get out of the house, and it occurred on the same weekend that Mindy was graduating, which was out of my control. It was court-ordered, which also made me look like I did something on purpose. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I know I was a good mom. Not a good mom, I was a great mom.
I have to say, this is already sounding like it's going to be a bumpy ride. When two daughters make the decision to stay with their father after a divorce and openly say they didn't want to live with their mother because they felt she was selfish, that's not something I can just brush aside. Now, does that automatically mean the mother was a terrible parent? No. Children can sometimes see situations differently, and family relationships are often complicated. But what I struggle with is when a parent immediately dismisses their children's experiences and insists, I was a great mom. Here's the thing. Being a great parent isn't something you get to declare about yourself. The people most affected by your parenting are your children. If the very people who lived under your roof, experienced your decisions, and felt the impact of your actions are telling you they were hurt, the first response shouldn't be to invalidate them. The first response should be to listen. You don't have to agree with every criticism, but you do have to acknowledge that their feelings are real. Telling your daughters that they don't know what they're talking about doesn't make those feelings disappear. If anything, it can reinforce the belief that they were never heard in the first place. What stands out to me is that both daughters chose the same side. That doesn't automatically make them right, but it does make me curious. When multiple children are telling a similar story, it's worth paying attention to. There may be details we don't know yet, but I'm definitely interested in hearing what led them to feel this strongly about their mother. So far, my biggest concern isn't whether the mother sees herself as a good parent. It's whether she's willing to hear how her daughters experienced her. Because healing usually starts when people feel heard, not when they're told their reality is wrong. And based on this opening alone, I have a feeling we're about to hear two very different versions of the same family story. Let's see where this goes.
You guys say the most selfish person on the face of the earth ruined your childhood. Why do you suppose she would do that?
I don't know. That's kind of why we're here. We'd like to understand why she did some of the things she did to us and let her know how it made us feel.
Okay, how can there be such a different perception here? Because you say you're not just a good mother, that you were a great mother.
Yes, I was.
And that they're brainwashed. Who brainwashed them?
Well, it all started years ago with things happening with their dad and myself. They were teenagers when they went through this with the divorce. It was very painful, and they switched sides before the divorce was final.
You didn't come to us and reassure us
I did
through
know.
the divorce. We don't know how you felt. We didn't go through the divorce, even though we felt like you divorced us too.
Right.
You know, when you take stuff out of my bedroom and her bedroom and Heather's bedroom, well, why'd you do that? To this day, I have children, and you know, if my husband and I got divorced, I would never take anything out of their
What did I
rooms.
take out of your
Well,
bedroom?
actually, she says you took beds and tables, that you took a washer and dryer that you then put in your own garage, which you didn't even use, which left them without one. You come to the house with the cops and take their beds and tables out of their room?
The divorce was a year and a half before, and I was supposed to get my items. I went to the house to get my items. I took somebody with me, and the only thing he let me leave with was a pillow.
No.
And yes,
no.
it was. You weren't there.
The day before
And
graduation?
I'm getting to that.
How is
If I
your
hadn't had
daughter's
somebody,
bed your items?
this is what the judge gave me. Can I finish and just tell you what happened?
Not if you continue to filibuster about your husband. I'm talking about you. You went in and took your children's beds out of the house.
No, I did not. I took one bed. The
Why?
judge.
Why?
I didn't have anything. We didn't have hardly anything.
You took your child's bed.
I took what? That's what they gave me. They gave me one
You
bed.
asked
Who is they?
We saw
Excuse
your
me,
list.
who is they?
The court said I was to have
The
one
court
bed.
is not their mother.
I
You don't
didn't know
substitute the
that.
court's judgment for your own. The court says go take your daughter's bed, so she just gets tired and leans up against the wall at night. What are you saying? How do you reason in your mind that you go take your daughter's bed?
That wasn't it.
Did you take your daughter's bed?
I took a bed.
You took Heather's bed that was
I
in
took
her room
whatever
that she
bed
slept
they
on.
allowed me to take at
That
the
you
time.
wrote down and asked for. But there were so many things she took, and we found later when we went to visit her other house, a lot of those were in her garage in the attic. Do you know how that hurt?
The only things I took
took
were
my sewing
accessories.
machine
No,
that
that
I
was
used-
my sewing machine.
Yeah, I know, but I used it for 4-H.
Okay,
You're right,
but
it is
you wanted to
yours.
finish. Please respond to why you would go in and take these items out of your own children's rooms.
I took an item that I didn't know meant so much to them. I was just trying to be able to.
Bed?
What jumps out at me is that every explanation starts with I. I needed this. I didn't have that. I was entitled to it. But where in that conversation was the concern for the child who was left without a bed? Yes, a court order may have given her the legal right to take those items, but being legally right and being morally right are not always the same thing. A mother should be asking, how will this affect my children? Not just, what am I entitled to? And this is why I think there is more going on here than furniture. It feels like this divorce became so personal, so emotional, and so focused on winning against her ex-husband that she lost sight of who was caught in the middle. the children. What I see is a woman who was deeply hurt that her daughters chose their father, and instead of accepting that reality, every move became about proving a point. The problem is that when you're trying to hurt your ex, the collateral damage is often your own children. Because let's be honest, if your daughter is sleeping on that bed, most parents would say, "I don't care what the court says. My child needs it more than I do." The saddest part is that she may have thought she was getting back at her ex-husband, while her daughters were the ones feeling the impact. And moments like that are exactly why those daughters may have felt unseen in the first place.
Well, that was what the judge said I was supposed to get, and they got a lot of other items, and I didn't take all the other things.
What did we get, Mom? Because we weren't in the divorce.
We didn't have anything. We'd built a new house. We just had beds, a TV, a washer and a dryer, and my sewing machine.
Why would you take a washer and dryer when you have 3 teenage girls at this house?
That's what the judge.
I don't care what the judge said. You asked for it. You took it. You're right. I don't understand.
No, I did not ask for it.
I have not talked to you.
The
That's
list
why I
was
struggled
made
with
out.
This. You made the list.
No, your dad.
It was written in your writing. I saw the list. I wanted to find it.
I think the point is...
I understand. It's just unbelievable that I don't deserve anything.
Okay, now wait a minute. I think the point is that if a judge tells you to do something or gives you the right to do something, that as a parent you say, I may have the right to do this, but this is not in the best interest of my children. Right. So I'm not going to exercise that right. You weren't under a court order to go get Heather's bed. You had the right to take a bed, that bed. That doesn't mean that as a mother you substitute the court's judgment for your own. That's the point, that you had no empathy for the child in going and taking her bed.
I was in so much pain. I didn't realize some of the things that I could have done differently.
Well, then this should be a bright light day, because I want you to realize it today. I'm just trying to get you to acknowledge what they say they need. They've asked me for that help in this, and that's what I intend to do. We're going to take a break. Next, Tiffany and Mindy say their mother has continued her selfish behavior. She says it was all because she was in the crisis of a divorce. They say she's not there now, but yet she continues that behavior into their adult lives, even going as far as competing to be the center of attention at Mindy's wedding. We'll be right back.
My mom always wanted to have the attention. It seemed like my mom competed with me. We would be laying around the pool, and her bikini would be skimpier than ours. Dad was very, very loving towards us 3 girls. You know, you wouldn't think he'd be jealous of your kids, but he would kiss us all goodnight, and my mom would be like, well, kiss me goodnight. It's like competing with your 3 little kids.
Well, Mindy and her sister Tiffany say they are amazed that even as adults, they're still dealing with what they say is their mother's manipulative and self-centered behavior. Take a look.
My mother is still selfish to this day.
She thinks we're being mean to her when she should just feel pretty lucky that we even include her in our lives. My mom wore an off-white dress to my wedding as mother of the bride. I mean, who does that? I'm sorry.
My mother calls me only when she needs something. Recently, I owed her $11. When I was writing out the check, she said, I wouldn't ask for it if I didn't need it. That's when I came unglued. I actually said to her, well, if you are hurting that bad for $11, why don't you sell that BMW you have? My mother told me that she wrote us letters explaining why she left us and her side of the divorce. I will not receive this letter until she dies. I'm going to burn it. I'm not going to read it. That is so selfish. That's her way of getting the last word.
Did you show up at her wedding wearing a white dress?
Off-white. I didn't know it was a problem.
You're up on all the other kind of etiquette,
No, I did
Mom.
not know. And I thought you knew what I was wearing.
No?
I did not know that was
Even I know that's a cardinal rule, that the bride wears white, nobody else.
Well, I didn't know that off-white was considered white. I
Mom,
did not want to hurt you.
Ma'am, we're really supposed to believe that you didn't know an off-white dress would be an issue at your own daughter's wedding? Come on now. There are some wedding rules that are practically universal, and one of the biggest ones is don't wear white when you're not the bride. White, ivory, cream, off-white, eggshell, vanilla bean, whatever fancy name we want to give it, the point remains the same. Most people know exactly why that color choice raises eyebrows. What makes this even harder to believe is that we're not talking about a random guest who rarely attends weddings. We're talking about the mother of the bride. If anyone should be extra careful about not stepping on the bride's moment, it's her. And notice the pattern here. Every time something hurtful is brought up, there's always an explanation. It was a misunderstanding. It wasn't intentional. She didn't know. At some point, people stop focusing on what you meant to do and start looking at what you actually did. Because whether she intended it or not, the daughter felt hurt. And instead of saying, "I can see why that upset you," we're getting explanations for why nobody should be upset in the first place. Listen, if I showed up to somebody's wedding in an off-white dress, I'd spend the entire day wondering if people thought I was trying to audition for the role of the bride. The fact that she expects everyone to believe she had absolutely no idea is what's making me raise an eyebrow. Maybe it wasn't malicious. Maybe it wasn't calculated. But ma'am, off-white is living awfully close to white's neighborhood, and most people know not to move in there on a wedding day.
There's the picture.
I was never mean to you on purpose. Never, ever
Maybe you
was
didn't
I.
intend to be mean.
No, I wasn't.
But it still hurt us very deeply to this day.
What do you want from your mother?
I want her to accept responsibility for the way she treated us. I want to understand it a little more. I mean, didn't you think about, like, homecoming, when you took the dress the night before because I was getting home late from my cousin's house, and you took them all out and put them in the trunk of your car?
I did not do that.
You
I
did
would
that.
not keep your dress that you were going to
did
wear
that.
away from you.
You are lying.
I was always there to
Mother.
do your hair.
I'm sorry. She has
I
a
did
mental
not.
problem. She does. Yeah, and it's not a joke.
Look,
She
I can't
really has
help.
something wrong with
Listen,
her
I
brain.
can't help y'all if we don't tell the truth. Now, somebody's lying here. Did this happen or not?
I swear to God.
See, it's no matter what.
Mom, are you serious?
I'm serious.
You have a problem. I lived it. It broke my heart. I talked about it for 28 years with my family. Are you serious?
I didn't do anything on
Mother.
purpose to hurt you girls. Never. I was always
But did you
there.
accidentally lock it in the trunk? I mean, not knowing
No,
how.
that's not even.
Mom,
That's
I'm
not even
sorry.
possible.
It's all or none. It either happened or it didn't.
This is why we have trouble getting along to this
Listen,
day.
I'm
She's
trying-
never wrong.
I've tried to talk to him about different
Yeah,
things.
but see, this
you
is why
never
we're
ever-
here, because we need a mediator, because
I
you would
agree.
run off
I
and throw a
am
temper
typical-
But we
tantrum.
have to deal with the
Here.
truth here. We have to deal with the truth here.
I can't make this up.
I know. I believe that you believe that.
No,
but
it
I
happened.
didn't.
And y'all say that she's not involved with your children, but she shows up for the photo ops.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, over the years, I remember Mindy being the mother to me. My mom wasn't there. She was there.
there.
You
I
were there
did
to
your
show up,
hair.
20
I
minutes
helped
before I
you.
left? No, you didn't.
You girls did not even come visit me, and you were supposed to come visit me, and nobody
Because
made
why?
you visit
Because the judge ordered it, Mom?
How old was I?
I'm serious.
Well, if
you
that's
used
what
to
it
call.
takes
used
to
to
get
call.
communication.
I did not have. I told the judge that if he did not give us to our dad, we would run away. Because I hated her, I didn't want to be around her. Well, he asked, what kind of visitation rights do you think you should have? And I said, I don't care if I ever see her again. Well, my sisters were younger, and they are like, maybe every 2 weeks or something. I think they just felt sorry for Mom. She would call in 2 weeks, and they didn't want to go. She goes, well, the judge ordered it.
Not, I love you, not, I miss you,
And even,
please come see me.
even our dad would say, you should go. She is your mother. Okay,
I
then why would you
always
tell
brought you
us
up
that
to.
he needs to? You didn't bring us up, Mom.
I brought you up.
You did not
Yes,
raise
I
us.
did.
No, you did not.
I took care of you, Mom.
Maybe when we
Okay.
were really.
All right, hold on. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. More of this when we return.
I am very worried about my mother, especially when she dies. I'm afraid no one's going to show up at her funeral. I'm worried about what to say. I don't want to hate her. I don't want to be mean to her. I just can't help it.
That's a reality, true?
Right. Yes,
You
it
just
is.
don't know what you would say about your mother.
And that's very sad. And I remember asking Tiffany years ago, I said, you know, I couldn't understand why she didn't want to pick me, you know, to live with me. And she said, Mom, we had that new house, we had our friends, and I wanted to be with my sisters. I mean, that's what she told me.
I'm 11 years old,
I know,
Mom.
so you don't know what's going on.
I didn't understand what was going on with the divorce.
I know it. That's why I wanted
But you still
girls
bring
to
this
get
up to this
counseling.
day and make me feel horrible and make me feel
That was
sorry
not
for
my
you.
intention whatsoever.
I'm the one that has to protect you and be worried about your feelings.
You have to
It's
stop
exhausting.
and think. You have to stop and think about how much you love your children.
You're right.
And that's how much I love you.
No.
It is.
It's not the same. You love yourself more, Mom.
No, I don't.
You've
See,
only
let me ask you
considered
something.
your feelings.
Do you notice even now when you started saying that, she leans over into her
Right.
space. She's protecting her
Right.
from you.
Because
you
it-
immediately, look, I mean, you're almost in her chair.
Right, I
No,
know
it's
that.
okay. It's okay. I'm not criticizing you for it. I'm just saying that's how it is. Okay, let me ask you something. Do you want to win this argument?
No, I don't. I just want them to realize that there's two sides of the story, and I'm not to be blamed for everything.
So you do want to win the
Yes.
argument. You want to
No,
be vindicated.
I do not. No. I just want them to understand.
Do you have any concern, any empathy, any sensitivity to the fact that these two girls are hurting terribly in their relationship with you? Because you haven't acknowledged it at all. You have what part of this do you own?
It's obvious that they think I screwed up. And, well, I mean...
And that's exactly the problem. When asked what part she owns in the situation, she doesn't actually identify anything she did wrong. Instead, she shifts the focus to what her daughters think she did wrong. There's a huge difference. Taking accountability sounds like, I can see how my actions hurt my children. What she's saying is, my children have a negative opinion of me. Those are not the same thing. The reason she can't validate her daughter's feelings is because, deep down, she doesn't believe she caused the hurt. She sees herself as the victim in this story. In her mind, she's the one who was wronged, misunderstood, and rejected. And when someone believes they've done nothing wrong, every complaint feels like an attack instead of an opportunity for reflection. That's why her daughters keep talking about their pain, while she keeps talking about her own.
Oh, I'm telling you, you
Come
just
on.
don't...
What do you think you screwed
It's
up?
like I never, ever have I been able to do anything
You're
that they
defending
thought was
yourself.
wrong. I know, but
You're defending
what?
yourself again. Do you care at all about their feelings?
Oh, I sure do.
Because all you're talking about are yours. Me.
I don't aim for it to be that way. I really don't.
But you're playing the victim here with these two girls who have said, I want some help. They want to try to heal this relationship, and all you're saying is, you're wrong, I was victimized, you don't remember right, you don't get it, you don't understand, you should feel sorry for me.
I want them to have an understanding of why I did the things I did.
Do you have
and that
any
I didn't-
remorse?
I have remorse that they feel this way, but I don't...
Do you have any remorse for what you did or didn't do?
I didn't do anything on purpose. I want you to know I did not do
It still
anything
hurts
on
if you do it on purpose or not, Mom. All you thought about was yourself.
I had all kinds of counseling, and people kept telling me.
Do you
they
want a
didn't
relationship with them
Oh,
going
very
forward?
much so. I believe it's going to turn around.
So why? But you're going to have to accept responsibility for a lot of things you did. You cannot tell me you did not take my homecoming dress.
I really do not remember taking your
it.
dress.
Okay, I can believe that, because who wants to remember they did something so cruel to their daughter?
Well, I never
Mom,
did anything on purpose to hurt you.
Okay, well,
My
it
intentions
doesn't
through
matter what your
everything.
intentions are. It hurt us. We are young girls.
Right. But you have to understand that if I aimed to hurt you, I could understand how you'd hate me. But when you don't do something on purpose, it's hard to.
But you don't accidentally tell your daughter on her 16th birthday, by the way, I'm getting a divorce. You don't accidentally lock her homecoming attire in a closet. You don't accidentally take your child's bed. At some point along the way, you got to say, whoops, I almost did something really bad here. I'm going to not do it. But at some point, you're going to miss a lot of those things if you don't look at somebody's point of view other than your own. And for you to say, the court ordered me, they gave me the list of these items, I was compelled on that day to go take that bed from Heather.
I didn't
That
know.
is such a ridiculous argument that people, I mean, people are screaming at their television screens right now that is such a ridiculous argument. If that is a ridiculous argument, stand up. I'm trying to get you to get some insight, some understanding that your point of view is not correct here. Because if you don't, they are going to wall you off in their lives.
Yeah, and I don't understand how, you know, I just didn't know what I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
Let me ask you a question. It may seem rather obscure, but you said it was a year and a half before you finally got the opportunity to get your items. Correct?
Whenever the court went back and they made the decision.
But you said it was about a year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Okay. Where were you sleeping for those 500 days? What were you using as a bed?
I don't even remember.
But were you standing up? Were you sleeping on the floor? Did you have a bed?
I
You
don't.
stay with Grandma.
No, hold on. Did you have a bed?
I don't even remember. That's been so long ago.
Oh, come on. You don't know if for a year and a half you slept on the floor?
I'm sure I slept in a bed.
Okay,
I'm just
so
not
you
sure
had a
where.
bed.
Yes, I had a bed.
And so with the day you went and got your daughter's bed, you had a bed. You just had, now you had two beds.
I was using a bed. I really don't know.
Don't you think that's odd?
Oh, come on. You don't know whether you had a bed or not? Ma'am, that's not a question most parents forget the answer to. If you were sleeping on the floor every night, trust me, you would remember. Most people can tell you exactly where they slept last week, let alone whether they had a bed during a major life event. That's why this answer feels less like, I don't know, and more like, I don't want to answer. And that's what makes this so frustrating. If you're trying to rebuild a relationship with your children, honesty would be a great place to start. Instead of dodging, just own it. Say, I was angry, I was hurt, I made a selfish decision. People can forgive mistakes. What they struggle to forgive is someone rewriting history while they're still carrying the consequences of it. At some point, accountability has to enter the chat.
You don't remember those memories, Mom? These were hard times. When you have hard times,
Yes,
you
it was
remember
hard
the
times.
memories.
Okay, let me...
I was all alone.
I have one thing to say to you, and I have one thing to say to the two of you. We'll be right back. If you want a relationship with them for the remaining time in your life, you're going to have to stop defending yourself. You're going to have to own the fact that you made some really poor choices that damaged these girls. You're going to have to apologize to them, and you're going to have to mean it. And I don't think you're capable of doing that right now. I don't think you're capable of doing it because I think right now you still feel the need to defend yourself. And I'm happy to get you some help to get to that point if you want it and need it. But at some point you're going to have to stop justifying the things that you have done or not done and say, it's obvious to me, it's clear to me that I have hurt you. There is no justification for it, and for that I am truly sorry, and I'm going to do the best I can to redefine this relationship going forward.
I never intended to hurt you guys.
Okay, you're justifying again.
I don't know. I don't know how
I just said you don't know how.
That's right. I don't know how to comfort them because I was never comforted.
I understand. That's why I say you're not capable of this right now.
Right.
You're not capable of this right now because what you need to do, the maternal instinct in you would come out and say, I'm so terribly sorry.
Well, I am terribly sorry. I am terribly sorry. I've tried different times to talk to you girls, and you just didn't want to talk.
Now you're criticizing them.
Oh, I don't aim to
Wait,
you.
okay, stop. Listen, okay, stop for a second. Stop for a second. I don't want you talking to them right now.
Okay.
Just hear me. You can't open your mouth without justifying and criticizing. And that's not going to do anything but do more damage to these girls right here. Now, let me say to you, she can't give you what she doesn't have. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, she does not have the ability, the capacity to step out of herself and take your point of view and realize What you want her to say is, Mindy, Tiffany,
Heather.
I really, really hurt you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I am so sorry that I did. It's clear that I've damaged you, and for that, I apologize. There's no justification for a mother to do the things that I did. And then she would say, I am so very proud of the women you have become, and please forgive me and let me earn your trust going forward. What would it mean for you to hear that from her sincerely and her mean it and understand it?
We could begin to forgive and heal.
And what I hope you do is that you choose to forgive anyway. Because as long as you have this bitterness and hatred, it colors every aspect of your life.
Right.
And if she ever comes around, then from that point of forgiveness, then you can begin one step at a time, 1 inch at a time, to let her back in to that space. But you've got to set yourself free in the meantime. And she can't get, and there's nothing I can say to her that's going to bring her to that point today.
I want my daughters to know that I was there for them, and I still am.
Okay, but you weren't there for them. You just said that you were. You're not acknowledging that you were not. You're not ready to do that.
They don't see that I was there. They don't see it. I was there. I was there. I was there. We protected them. I was there. I was always there. I did everything around them and my husband.
Okay, well, based on results, they don't see it that way.
Maybe early in the years.
I did, and then it was like
All right, y'all are going to talk about this some more. I'm taking this as far as we're going to go with it today. And I'll continue to help with this. I will get her help with this.
Please.
But y'all watch this show. Sit down and watch this show. TiVo it. Watch it 10 times. Hear what I've said. You can fast forward through parts of it. Both of you. Okay, I am going to talk to another guest that says everything does need to revolve around.
I actually agree with Dr. Phil on this point. You can't give people something you don't have. If their mother genuinely lacks the ability to step outside of her own perspective and see how her actions affected her daughters, then expecting her to suddenly provide validation, empathy, and accountability may be setting everyone up for disappointment. Throughout this conversation, the daughters have been asking for one thing. Please acknowledge how we experienced you. But every time they describe their hurt, their mother seems to respond with explanations, excuses, or reasons why her actions made sense. That's not the same as understanding. And that's the heartbreaking part. These daughters aren't asking her to be perfect. They're asking her to see them, to hear them, to say, I understand why you felt hurt. But if she doesn't have the self-awareness or emotional capacity to do that right now, they may have to accept that reality instead of waiting for an apology that may never come. That doesn't mean their feelings aren't valid. It doesn't mean their experiences aren't real. It simply means they may never get the response they're hoping for from the one person they want it from the most. At some point, healing stops being about changing the other person and starts being about accepting who they are and deciding how you want to move forward.